Today, there's not a single Iranian ship under.
Ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Jesus. Sorry about that. Good morning. Welcome to the Associated Guest. I am, as always, I'm your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. I've forgotten what I'm doing. All right, today workplace decoration, for whatever reason, construed as racist. The Hodge twins have another stupid take of recent days. This is what happens when you basically just agree with Candace Owens on everything. And we'll get a little deeper dive to show you why they have a really bad take on this. Let's get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another one of those ones where if I gotta see it, you gotta see it. Because what's the benefit of me having to suffer by myself, consuming all of this stupidity on a routine basis if I can't share it with the likes of you? Because if we suffer...
This man's over the top.
That just makes the world a better place. Before I get too deep into this, though, I want to read a comment that I conveniently just got 3 minutes ago on a YouTube video. We have so little true racism today that people just be inventing anything. People are so sensitive today that this was considered a hate crime. This being the guy who complained that a bunch of people were dumping ice from the back of their trucks within eyesight of him. We had our churches and cities burned down, but today this is what someone considers a hate crime. I'm over the 2020s. And you know what, dear random viewer and commenter, I agree with you, but I think we could kick it up a notch. Instead of us complaining about a potential hate crime from having to witness, I guess, white individuals dump ice from the back of their truck, what if we change the scenario and instead of being in your own home, you're going to work? And you know, the typical 9-to-5 punch in, punch out is the common American standard in understanding that no matter what, everything's just going to start costing more. And you go into work and you're expecting the workplace environment, seeing the employees, seeing your fellow coworkers. What you aren't expecting is a decoration that, and you're black by the way, instills that fear of discrimination targeted at you because you're the strong, independent Afro-American in the year 2026. So when you see what I'm about to show you, understand the racial dynamic here and how insensitive these coworkers were to their black woman coworker, the most disrespected group in American history.
Controversy. A former employee tells us an incident happened over the weekend that she says was racially motivated.
ABC 15's Caitlin Richards joins
Because
us
of course
now.
she does.
Caitlin, this is a trending story as well right now on our website.
And that's right. On Saturday morning, Kanisha Brown Spivey tells me she went to work as usual, but what she saw inside, she says, was unexpected and alarming. We do want to warn you, some might find the image disturbing. Kanisha Brown Spivey says,
oh my gosh.
work at Chipotle on South Commons Drive in the
It's a
Surfside
skeleton
area and saw a skeleton hanging from
in a Chipotle uniform.
As a black woman,
In a
you walk
Chipotle.
into a building and you see something hanging from the roof, the first thing your mind goes back to is slavery. And the fact that it's still happening today in 2026, people are still being, and it's supposed to be taken as a joke, it's not funny.
I don't know. One, it's not a joke. It's just decoration. People decorate skeletons all the time. Where else would you hang them from? The floor? Maybe a door frame? But this is not the first time this happened. Walmart, a few years back, got into a little bit of controversy for hanging not even skeletons, just outfits from their ceiling. Because they hang a lot of stuff from their ceiling. A lot of product. I've seen kayaks and clothes and basically everything but grocery supplies.
I just want to say that it's completely laughable that
Tense.
I have to sit here and listen to this knowing that there's this idea in this woman's head, and probably people out there who also see this and share the same sentiment that will look at this and think of when there are two examples of black people that have been mischaracterized as being hunted down by the evil white men and being strung up to celebrate how much they love being white, when in reality it more so is towards their mental health, and nobody wants to have that conversation, but they drastically want to have everybody grab the baby oil and the cocoa butter and to a little bit of racial fan fiction, and that to me is the ultimate backhand to any conversation about mental health and actual racial discrimination.
Yeah.
You see something like this and see actual hatred being spread out in the world, and you compare the two and you recognize one's an actual conversation and the other one is just somebody thinking something that's so evil.
Brown Spivey says she faults the worker who hung it. Also,
Why we got this close up of her stomach?
I got with a text message, "Are you done?" That's all I got. No, "Are you okay? What happened? Do you want to talk about it?"
Why would you,
reached out to Chipotle's court.
why would we ask if you're okay? First of all, we don't know what time of year this is. It could have been Halloween. It could have been what was it? Oh hell, one of the Hispanic ones where they celebrate the dead. I'm pretty sure it might be the same day, though. I'm not really sure. I'm not good at dates and times. I don't even know what today is. But why would people ask if you're okay? I mean, I could understand if I could almost understand if this was a clown and someone was freaking out over a clown more than a skeleton dressed in a Chipotle costume.
Corporate office asking about this incident. We received a statement saying, in part, quote, "The employees involved said that there was no racial motivation or intent behind the display referenced in the social media post."
But in these days, they don't have to be.
It may have been perceived, and we take these concerns
Do you, though?
very seriously.
And
I
what
don't.
Does it say that a employee could bring this up and you have the top brass speaking on it and doing an investigation and figuring out why this was strung up, and people saying, no, we didn't do this to target this person, we just did it to do it? Because oftentimes in casual workplace environment, there's a little leniency to just do whatever. Criminal? No. But just decorating the workplace, it's like that common loose thing that isn't really a big deal unless somebody tries to make it a big deal. And here we are with such a big deal.
And here we have Akeisha.
Branch of NAACP says this type of behavior is not okay.
At some point in time, enough is enough. And what I will have to say.
Can I ask something? And this is not me trying to be an ass about anything. Why is it that the person in charge of all the branches of the NAACP is always the most light-skinned person ever, to the point where someone like Rachel Dolezal, a white lady with a perm, can pose as a black person and head her branch of the NAACP? I do not understand this, but this is always seems to be what it is. It's always some suburbanite taking offense for people who have actually seen some shit. I don't know. I mean, this person's older. You can tell her parents were probably a mixed couple. They probably had to struggle way back when. But come on. And the fact that the NAACP is getting involved and saying these kinds of things for a skeleton in a Chipotle costume hanging from the ceiling. Now, if one of the employees said, "Hey, does this look familiar?" or said something hateful, then yeah, get that person. Hang them by their legs right next to the skeleton. Ask them how it feels. Something. But unless they said something like that, or is it just a bunch of kids working, or a bunch of young folks, because kids don't work anymore? Hell, you can barely see 20-somethings working anymore. Working at a Chipotle, just doing whatever because they kind of have a relaxed atmosphere. Come on.
To the CEO of Chipotle is what you perceive as being offensive may not be what I perceive as being offensive.
Who cares what you perceive as being offensive? This is not worthy of the NAACP's attention. Yet here we are.
Therefore, we must have sensitivity training.
Oh my God.
Make sure we're all in tandem.
Nah.
It is offensive and
Nah.
it's not.
I quit.
South Carolina and Wyoming are the only two states without any hate crime laws. I asked if South Carolina had a
called
hate crime
freedom.
law in place, would this situation have happened?
I don't necessarily think less of these things would happen. However, there's more of a consequence that will come with it.
Brown Spivey says raising 3 boys, the incident has a deeper meaning for her.
Oh my
It
God.
does not mean anything. It's important for you to stand up.
It's
for
not.
what you believe in, and to stand up for yourself.
You're a retard.
Andrew says it's important people are aware of their protection under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, which prohibits bias and punishment based on race, color.
This white lady on this news program, she's on lithium. Listen to the way she's talking.
Religion and sex. In studio, Caitlin Richards, ABC 15 News.
The religion one never really gets held. People rip on Christians all the time, and nobody cares. Because why should they?
Caitlin, thank you. Andrews tells us every workplace should have a company handbook outlining what's supposed to happen when there is harassment or discrimination in the workplace, which is vital for next steps.
You know that song, I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With You? For this lady, it's about Botox.
In situations like these.
I do love that even though there are no hate crime laws in that state, there is that perceived notion of these people could just get away with it.
I'm just saying, she looks surprised and sleepy at the same damn time. How does that happen?
Anything under the sun. And as long as there's no hate crime laws, we are absolutely going to have more examples like this, where people are decorating skeletons and saying, we've decorated a skeleton, and
Spooky
it's supposed to
racist
represent
skeletons.
something about blackness. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, and this is morbid, by the way, this is the reality of a Chipotle worker slaving away, ironic choice of words, while these random people walk in and demand more steak and more chicken, more whatever the fuck goes on these Chipotle bowls that you people create, because you are disgusting. Chipotle sucks. Go to Qdoba, and then you
Never heard of
see
Qdoba, but I'm gonna
these
try it.
people doing it, and then they waste away, and then they go home, and then they rest, and then they come back, and then they go home, and then they come back, and then they go home. It's the ultimate messaging of how much it sucks being a Chipotle worker. I'm not looking at this and thinking this is specific towards the one black woman. I'm looking at this and saying, wow, people are bored. But that's just me having that racial lens taken out, because everything in my eyes isn't supposed to be viewed under the racism microscope, especially when it's
And it shouldn't. It's the whole thing. If everyone's special, nobody's special. If everything is racist, then nothing's really racist anymore. I'm just saying. It's a fucking skeleton hanging from a ceiling. Either kids were being silly, they found a skeleton or some Halloween decorations in the back and had some extra uniforms and said, hey, let's make a new co-worker. Let's name him Todd. Why am I saying that? Because I've done similar shit. I smoked a lot of weed in my late teen and early 20s. This is the kind of shit you come up with, man. You find a skeleton, full body skeleton or whatever. I mean, it's like Robin Williams in that movie Patch Adams, where he's like, hey, I got a boner. I am a boner. Blah, 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 blah. It's just shit like that. What are we talking about? Anyway, I'm done with this one. Let's continue to...
Crazy interaction today. A Marine Corps veteran got into a scuffle at some Senate committee hearing, and man ends up breaking this guy's arm. Yeah, you can hear it pop. Check this out, man. This is nuts.
Israel is the reason for this war.
First of all, as a Marine, and really any soldier, but the Marines are much more hardcore about it. You're not supposed to be in your dress uniforms in public at all, unless you are fulfilling your duty as directed by your leadership in the Marines. This man is no longer in the Marines, so whatever. But you're not supposed to perform any kind of activism while you're in the military at all. This man's retired, but you're definitely not supposed to do it in your uniform.
America does not want to fight this war for Israel. Let's go.
This is all performative.
America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows you that
And this is him resisting police.
this is wrong.
Quite obviously.
And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
And this right here. And this is all being done. These guys are just trying to get him out. If he had gone along with it, he'd already be out of the room by now. but he's throwing a fit like a kid who really wants to get some candy before y'all leave the store.
Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America.
And like I said, right here,
No one wants to fight.
instead of screaming his little line, he could be like, hey guys, my arm's stuck between these doors because the way this room is set up is stupid.
For Israel.
But he's not talking about it. And this guy's extra dumb.
Okay, so it wasn't the senator that broke his arm. Cops. But he had his hand trapped in it. He wouldn't let them pull him out of the.
That doesn't mean you go ahead and just break his.
I don't think they realized it.
Yeah. Because the guy's throwing a fit and he's grabbing on everything, again, like a toddler, or your drunk friend who doesn't want to leave yet. And, yeah, like I said, the way these doors are set up is stupid. All these people recording didn't jump up there and open the door. Like, there's a lot of stupidity to go around in this. Hey, you hear all these people yelling this stuff? They're with him. This is a whole group of these people. You're not supposed, like, yes, it is okay to go here and do all these things, but you're allowed to go up there and say whatever you want to these people. But I'm pretty sure this is like a council, some kind of city or state council meeting. You're supposed to wait in line and go up and say whatever when it's time to do it. Doing any kind of yelling from the back is always met with this. A lot of the times, if the city council's corrupt enough, like from my hometown, or I've seen some cities in California do this. Yeah, they'll do this if they don't like what you say at the mic. But this is not unheard of. I wish that guy yelling would shut up. Well, you're not even doing anything. Like, y'all are causing a scene. This is what you do. Hey, what's going on, shapeshifter? You're like robots.
Why ain't they looking back? That is weird. That is really weird. They just turn their back to everything.
Oh my God, what is happening?
No, it's just they're not acknowledging your little fits. That's all this is. Because it continues out in the hall.
They're not there to have an opinion. They're there to follow orders. They could care less. There are government property. They do what they do.
And that is true. When you sign up, your government property essentially, and your social security number is your NSN, your stock number rather, your part number,
Right?
serial number.
What did I just see? I'm getting out of here.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please.
Oh my God, what is
That's all. Okay.
And he seems very calm for somebody who just snapped his arm like a twig. And this is his wife. That's not some random Muslim lady.
Can you open it up a little bit just to like change the
Yeah. That's a Marine right there. Ain't even phased.
clear the
That's
hallway.
a double dog.
All right, so let's get a little further into this. And a lot of things need to be said. One, this whole Iran thing is not for Israel. Trump is not the pawn of, was it Bibi Netanyahu? We're about to get more into it. But no, Trump is not the pawn of Netanyahu. You can say a lot of things about him, but he's told, like, do you remember the infamous quote? Let me see if I can find it real quick, because this is one of my favorite.
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours You don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them.
I mean, I would.
I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that.
See, if he was in Netanyahu's pocket, he wouldn't say shit like this, and he damn sure wouldn't say my favorite part right here.
Two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
As look, love him or hate him, that's what Trump looks like when he's mad. You hardly ever see it like that. And that was hilarious. These are two people who have been fighting for so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So remember that when he wasn't afraid to say that about Israel, when he wasn't afraid to say that Israel violated the ceasefire back in the day. Was that just for show? Was that just to give enough to make you think that he might not do it, and just to cover the fact that he's in Israel's pocket? Maybe. And if you think that, you're probably a retard. I'm not going to lie.
Depending on how you view it, husband, said that the first time she was proud of America is when Barack Hussein Obama won. That means that she was never proud. I mean, she has disdain. She hates this country.
I'm saying.
She hated this country until there was some type of personal gain, meaning in that case being first lady or husband. So the left, we establish, right? We agree. And if you look at the polls, patriotism, those who love America, regardless of who is president, it's very consistent. It has been for really as long as we've been taking these polls with conservatives, Republicans. They will answer, yep, I still love America, and they will try and fight the policy, the administration that they believe is destroying America. But it doesn't oscillate a whole lot. They love America, which is why when we're talking about this here on the right, the left hates America. Does it sound like these people who claim that they are America first and you're not unless you agree with them? Does it sound like they love America more than you? They're America first?
A terrorist is somebody who kills people for political motives. That's what the...
Oh, yeah, let's go to Sneeko for his opinion on things.
Religious or political motives. Is that not America?
Oh, really? No, it's happened a few times. And look, that's the great thing about there being so much coverage on Trump, not just before he was president, but especially during. You can find compilations of all these things. You can find, I think, a 12-minute compilation of him denouncing white supremacy, the KKK, and all that stuff. You can find, I'm sure there's at least 3 or 4 of them where he said the fuck word. But yeah, he said it a couple of times. Not that often, but when he does, especially over a mic. Except one time he was saying, you don't fuck with America. I think he might have been mad, but it's hard to tell. He was very poised on that one. I mean, as poised as someone with a Hitchcockian figure.
America funds Israel to commit a genocide.
So I wanted to know
there is no genocide.
Carlson, who has long opposed the idea of another war in the Middle East, what he thought of this. And
Tucker Carlson opposes a war in the Middle East because he just bought a very large property there.
Answer, he told me of the president's decision is, quote, absolutely disgusting and evil.
Oh,
let's get real.
Shit.
The United States of America is arguably the worst terrorist organization in the world.
See, that sounds like a leftist to me, because you're saying America is the biggest terrorist organization. America is the bad guy. Let's go to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Imagine murdering countless innocent people in a foreign country and expecting them to be grateful you freed them from their government. Again, first point, you're saying
hold on,
America
let me
is the
finish.
bad guy. America are the terrorists. We're not talking about whether it's the right use of funds. You are starting off. You're
First of all, there was very minimal, if any, civilian casualties to what America and Israel just did in Iran. At the very least, it was way less than the amount of people that their own government murdered recently, which again is over 12,000. Why do I keep saying 12,000? Because I haven't gone to get a new number. 12,000's enough. That's more than pretty sure that's more than died in Gaza in the last 3 years.
Jumping off point is America evil,
and it's just
that it's wrong.
in the last couple of
Murdering countless innocent
months.
people in a foreign country, expecting them to be grateful. Well, you know who's really grateful, and there's no argument about this?
The Iranian people?
Iranians.
And again, this is why, look, I will never be a conservative. I will never be a Republican by any stretch of the imagination. I do agree with them on some things. I disagree with them on a lot. But stuff like this, you cannot be more angry than the person affected, first of all. And secondly, if the person affected is happy, gleeful even, you cannot correct them. I would think that the person from there or currently there knows a little bit more about it than a suburban white lady with a certain haircut and a certain size of glasses.
Get out of the road. It's thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Trump, Mr. President.
That guy was high. I don't know what Iran's stance on substance is, but that man was quite substantial. Are they?
Margaret Taylor Greene, Dave Smith said none of the.
Okay, this is just silliness. This can't be real. This is a whole group of Iranians dancing to the YMCA, and they're doing the weird, awkward, pooped his pants Trump dance.
You expect these people to be grateful? Well, they are. What do you do with that now? What do you do with that?
Is that Tim Walz? No, it's not.
Thank you very much.
Damn. And see, that's what I'm saying. These people get so much coverage that there's remixes of said coverage.
I want to be really clear. Do not misconstrue what I'm saying.
Right.
This is not an argument for intervention in Iran or that it's the best use, the best appropriation of military. That is not the argument that I'm making. What I'm pointing out is the people who claim to be more America first than you say America is the bad guy, and they substantiate it by saying America is killing throngs of innocent people. And then there's a chorus of people from said nation saying, we couldn't be more grateful. That's the only point that I'm making there. Yeah. Please comment and let me know that you understand, because these Americans...
And this is what people are not seeing. Or just don't care because it's not their side. I don't care because I don't have a side. As far as intervention in other countries go, it's all very expensive. Everything we do is very expensive. But considering we just stopped funding a lot of stuff overseas through, the thing that Doge cleared out, whatever that fraudulent organization was. That was a lot of money going overseas. And most of it wasn't going overseas. It was going to certain people's pockets. Very small people. A very, very small group of people. It was going to dwarves. But no. The only time I'm okay with intervention, I do not want a forever war. I agree with the thing that people are saying when it comes to this. That doesn't seem to be the case with the interventions that Trump has done. And again, love them or hate them. If these do turn out to be just a little quick, jump in the night, snatch Maduro, if this Iranian situation doesn't last with heavy boots on the ground, especially ours. I do not want our boots on the ground. Israel can handle that shit. As you can see, all the surrounding Muslim countries are cool with this. They're getting in line with it. Now, is that just them trying to grab the land when it's available? Maybe. But the important thing is nobody gives a shit about the current leadership. I'm saying.
America first people who think that America is the bad guy, which I don't understand. Well, yesterday, they finally found their martyr. A Marine Corps vet disrupted a Senate Armed Services subcommittee. And again, when you watch it, if your gut says this seems like something a leftist would do, we'll help you. Then fact check it. That's because it is.
Yeah.
And they are.
Israel is the reason for this war.
No, they're not.
America does not want to fight this war for Israel. Let's go. Come on, let's go. America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders.
Your inability to see anything but that.
And this from the More America First crowd, their narrative is he was targeted for standing up to Israel. If you don't find this abhorrent, you're not America First. That's the narrative.
And here goes again.
Then we'll explain it to you.
Yeah, we saw this.
Yeah. Watch this. All staged.
Yeah. And like I said, that's his wife. This person's one of his. This person looks like his twin.
He was a Marine 22 years ago.
The guy escorting him was a Navy SEAL.
Witness a Marine veteran interrupting the hearing, and they broke his arm. Why did he interfere? Because there is a war in Iran, and our military brothers and sisters are going to die for Israel, and we are here to say no. We do not support Israel. We do not want to.
Who's saying this?
This lady's making it about her.
And the idiots with it's the exact same thing that the left always does, right? There's tokenism, there's identity politics, and if you don't agree, then you hate. It could be trans. You want to genocide trans people. If you don't agree, you want to send Marines to their death for Israel. By the way, he's not active duty. He's not going to Iran.
No.
Second, the person escorting him was a Navy SEAL. To be clear. The narrative out there is freedom of speech until you say you don't want to die for Israel. No one has a problem with you saying that. I don't have a problem with you saying that. I'll say it. I don't want to die for Israel. I don't want anyone in our military to die for Israel. But if you want,
This is not for Israel.
That just feels like something the left would do, a false premise in identity politics to try and silence any type of disagreement. That's because this person is. The setup was. And again, Senator Tim, she is a Navy SEAL, served in Afghanistan, Iraq, South America. And you had a point that you made earlier, too, about this.
Yeah, so I don't know which point.
Well, he's first of all,
So first of all, yeah,
he's wearing his,
he's not active duty, and he's wearing his Marine uniform. He got out of the. I looked him up. He got out of the Army or Marines in 2004. So that was 22 years ago. He still fits in.
That's before I even went in.
I can't. But he put it on. You don't wear your uniform, outside of service.
Yeah, and I will say it is impressive that this long after he got out, he could still fit in his uniform. I sure the hell can't. I'm at least 2 sizes, 3 sizes bigger.
Meaning you just look like a douche. Like everybody else, every other veteran's like, look at this douche putting his uniform on to use it as a prop.
Yes.
He used his dress blues as a prop, and then started yelling, and then didn't listen when they told him not to. First of all, if he was active duty and he's in uniform, you cannot go to a protest. It's against the Uniform Code of Military Justice. You can be court-martialed for it. You can lose rank. You can be sent out of the military for that offense. But also, he's not active duty. He's talking about, I'm not going to go to war. No, you're not.
Right.
You're not going anywhere.
He's using it as a prop, and it's against military code of conduct, to be clear. But those people want you. You want to send people to die for Israel. I don't want anyone to die for Israel.
Correct.
Period. Across the board.
Ever.
That's not the discussion. And the people saying you want to send people to die for Israel are the same people saying, by the way, America's the bad guys. We're the terrorists.
Well, they're like, they broke his hand. I'm like, did you see the video? Yeah. He reached around to grab the door. When he did, he pushed the next door open, grabbed the hinge, and then closed on him.
Yeah.
That was can't interrupt a Senate hearing.
No, 100%. It was like a mousetrap.
And then they take you out. What? And then, okay, he's a Marine. He's a Marine. What is so he's special?
Yeah.
I don't care.
No.
Yeah.
Take your piece, and then when they say leave, you leave.
Well, let's go.
And the thing about, look, I know a lot of former Marines. A lot of them are also retards. But the ones that aren't or are retarded on the other side, look, people will stand with you if you are in a certain group that they are also in. Military's like this until a certain point. Marines are super like this until a certain point. I know a lot of Marines who are down with this because they are similarly activism based, especially recently. But again, these are not serious people. Love them to death. Hey, I love you guys. I know y'all pop in from time to time. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm sorry.
Also hey, look, all all these are valid points, right?
But most most military people and most Marines would say that this kind of action is at the very least frowned upon, if not completely just not a good thing to do, especially if you're in uniform. He is using it as a prop. I mean, it is what it is if that's what you want to use it for, but you don't have the respect for it if that's what you use it for.
I served this country. I know people are going to say to me,
Hey, did you serve your country there, tough guy?
No, I haven't. And I understand, and I'm very grateful to those who do.
Yep.
Okay, in 3, 2...
Whoa. Coffee.
This person, Brian McGinnis, who's being held out as the only Marine whose opinion matters, a true dyed-in-the-wool leftist, is running for office. Now, to be clear, maybe Senate, maybe Congress. We don't exactly know. A member of the Green Party donated to Jill Stein. Where's, oddly enough, in Ireland...
Where's his American flag?
What?
Is he Irish?
Yeah, on his campaign website. And in case
Ireland
you're wondering,
and
people
Palestine.
say they're America first, and you're not. You're not America first unless you understand that America is the bad guy. And look at this non-active duty Marine who's violating this code of conduct, right? He is more American than you. You need to support him because he's America first. Well, let's see McInnes's political positions. In his own words, is he a leftist? I felt like he was.
All right. Hello, my name is Brian McGinnis, and I'm running for the congressional seat for North Carolina. If voted in, I will present to Congress the great American acknowledgement, a reparations plan for black families. I am not
Oh my
speak
God.
on this as a privileged white man. I will anyway. I have deep remorse for our American history.
I'm not the one to speak on this, but I'm going to.
Don't speak against what some fellow whites still stand for today, discussing foolish white supremacy, then I'll be damned.
No one's discussing white supremacy.
Jews denounce the state of Israel right now.
I'm sure they're
I hear them now.
Right.
How do you plan on paying all those reparations? Simple.
I don't.
Take the money we give to Israel and give it to American black families.
Pause. First off, I don't think anyone who's America first is saying, how are you going to pay those reparations for the Jews? I did the math. That would be about $73 a year for blacks.
Yeah.
Good job. By the way, cut all the funding for Israel. I'll agree. The $3 to $4 billion a year, $2 to $4 billion. Yep, absolutely. That's not going to. It's not going to solve reparations any more than it's going to solve.
Well, and this is the thing. People look at big numbers. This is the kind of people that say, "Oh, Elon Musk is worth $500 billion. If he gave everyone $1 million, then he'd still have something billion dollars left." And I'm like, is this that girl math I keep hearing about? No, this is not math. This is delusion. You don't know what you're doing. People talking about math and distributing things like, yes, could Elon Musk give up a lot of his money? Yes, he could give it to me. I would be very happy with only $500,000, Mr. Musk. Please. No, anyway.
One court case in Minnesota.
But that's not an
People are
argument.
disingenuous.
Yeah.
They are leftists treating you like a leftist audience, meaning you are a rube. You're a quisling. Don't be one. Let's continue.
We can pay Israeli citizens, but we can't pay Americans.
You're not paying Israeli citizens.
North Carolinian ancestors built this country, for crying out loud.
This whole thing is a bunch of damn bumper sticker and T-shirt slogans written down in secession on a piece of paper. It's like, hey, let's take all these slogans and make a speech out of it. None of it means anything.
2024.
Crying
I was
out
nearly
loud.
killed multiple times. The most threatening attack was while having large rocks thrown at me by shirtless teenage Israeli settlers. An IDF soldier shot a CS gas canister directly at my head and missed my huge nose by millimeters.
At least you know.
It's still effective.
But CS gas, yeah, it sucks, but you're fine. Literally all soldiers are subjected to CS gas, or at least they were when I went in, just to know what we're dealing with. So if they ever throw CS gas at someone, they know what effect it'll have on them. It's not deadly. It's just annoying, and it's meant to incapacitate you because you're going.
I consider them our most important ally against the state of Israel. Free Palestine.
Oh boy.
Free America.
Speak up, Devil
vote
Dogs.
green,
That's your guy.
Legalize weed. Raise teacher pay.
Congratulations on the
pay
Masters win.
homeschooling Families. Tax the rich.
Yeah.
Subsidize childcare. Joe Rogan, please have me, Michael Dublin, and Tony Aguilar on your show.
Don't.
If you don't think military occupation is coming here, then you haven't been paying attention. To Trump's ICE agents.
No, you know what? Joe Rogan, put this man on your show and question him. Push back as much as you did with Adam Conover or whoever. Look, Joe Rogan is not he seems like a decent dude. He doesn't give a lot of pushback normally. He just goes in there and has a conversation with people. But if you say something stupid or that he disagrees with, like Crowder did when he went on the show. Again, Crowder's someone I have some respect for. Crowder crumbled in front of Rogan. And then he did again when they talked about it later.
People in the streets with impunity. If you were from Illinois, then you would know.
Don't. Why are you singing Montel Jordan?
He's got post-traumatic stress disorder.
But these on the right, America First, go, come on.
You're cleaning your couch. Don't hold it like this. Hold like this.
Yeah, look.
What?
He's out of his mind.
What?
It's rumored he may not even be running for office. This is all just a stunt to promote his new film, Capitol Hill Have Eyes. And
I mean, that's accurate. That is accurate.
Is that a nipple? The other thing, too, before we get to the fact that he's married to a pro-Palestinian activist, think about this. I get it. AIPAC needs to register. I get it. Screw them with a wire brush. I don't like their influence. Israel should not be leading the dance on anything. I understand all of that. I think we shouldn't be funding any of this in the Middle East unless there's something that involves our own interests. And that's where the conversation should take place. I tell you why it's not. When he says, I think Palestine are our greatest ally in Israel. Okay. Is it the official position of Hamas that the United States is evil and Satan and needs to be destroyed? But you're America first. Is it the official position of the Islamic Republic of Iran, not the people celebrating, thanking America, and Donald Trump, the people who you denigrate and say are innocent being killed, they don't agree with you? Is it the position of the Islamic Republic that America is the big Satan? Yeah, it is. And you somehow align yourself with them or think that they're not a problem. How could you be America first and always align? Always align. You align with the left against Donald Trump and his actions on Iran. You align with the left, this guy obviously, against ICE, which we've seen other people on the dissident right do. At a certain point, you go, wait a second. When I align, I say I'm America first, but I want to impeach Trump. I say I'm America first, but I say that we should go out and vote Democrat. I say I'm America first, but I say stay home during the midterms. I say I'm America first, but I align with Hamas and Palestine, who want to destroy America. I say I'm America first, but I take the side of the Islamic Republic in Iran rather than the people thanking Donald Trump. Maybe you're not America first. Maybe you're not MAGA, and we shouldn't be taking our tips from you. And as far as this guy, certainly not your wife, who's a crazy bitch.
Hey everybody, this is my wife and Addie, and we are wanting to let you know Bilal Muhammad's fighting tonight at the UFC, defending his belt, and he is a Palestinian American, lives in Chicago, and he is fighting he's defending his championship belt. And if you are not in the UFC, or if you are, make sure to get the event on pay-per-view, and percentage of proceeds go to him because he's a champion. And so just go Bilal and free Palestine.
I've lived in
Oh my God.
Palestine for 4 to 5 years of my life. I'm here today to ask the Raleigh City Council
Hold on.
to finally take a stand against the terror state of Israel. I'm here today to
Palestine.
I've lived in occupied Palestine for 4 to 5 years of my life. I'm here
4
today
to
ask the Raleigh
5.
City Council to finally take
If you were there, you would know exactly how long it was. I'm saying.
a stand against the terror state of Israel.
I just saw Cornel West on Al Jazeera, and he was all like, if it was my Jewish brothers who were being occupied and mistreated, I'd be in solidarity with my Jewish brothers.
Would you?
If it was my white brothers who were being occupied and oppressed, I'd be in solidarity with my vanilla brothers.
No, you wouldn't.
That's a lie.
That way. Are you my friend? Are we locked in?
Oh my God.
Hey, you notice to say, she says, Palestine occupied by Israel. Why don't we ever hear them say occupied Palestine referring to Hamas? Shouldn't that be considered an occupation? Oh, you elected them, right? But then you want to say, no, Hamas doesn't represent Palestine, so you separate them. Well, then why don't you complain about the occupation of Hamas? That's first point. Second one is, let's just say that these people, like her and her husband, had their way, okay, from the river to the sea. That means there is no more Israel, okay? That means that Hamas, Palestine...
Just so you know, from the river to the sea means an actual genocide of Israel. Just so you know, wiping it from the earth. No two-state solution, no nothing. Who supports this?
Do you really think that would result in the United States expending fewer military resources in the Middle East? Do you really think that would lead to more stability in the Middle East if you don't want us to be fighting foreign wars? You want Hamas, the non-occupiers of Palestine, according to these people, to have more power and more land, who have an expressed purpose in destroying the United States of America? Just those 2 points. Why don't you call it an occupation when it's Hamas? And what kind of military intervention do you think would be required if Palestine did have, Hamas did have, from the river to the sea? Why don't we talk about that? You know? And here's actually a good example, I just think, because it's tokenism. This is all tokenism. That's why it feels so leftist. These I'm America first, by the way, vote Democrat. Let's compare. Sneeko.
Look, and this kind of shit's retarded. I don't know who Maura Healey, let's see, Massachusetts governor. Robert Kennedy said he may potentially pull certain ingredients from the market if they can't be proven safe. Seems fair. Including ingredients from a Massachusetts staple, Dunkin' Donuts. And then she's got to come and take it, don't tread on me flag with a Dunkin' Donuts drink on it. Seems like a bit of an overreaction. To which Kennedy said, no one is taking away your Dunkin', but isn't it reasonable to ask whether a drink loaded with 180 grams of sugar is safe? Yeah, it's reasonable. And if you're not taking the actual drink, you're just taking out anything harmful, actually harmful that's within it, like anything that directly causes cancer, sugar, whatever. That's a drug people openly choose to ingest. But anything else in there that's not actually supposed to be eaten, yeah, take that shit out.
Who is out there, who claims to, I think, be kind of America First Muslim. I don't really know, but he certainly has worn the hat. Versus Osmond Gold, who, by the way, I don't think that he claims to be America First. I don't even know that we would agree on everything politically. He just seems like a sensible person. So there's tokenism, America First, telling you to stay home and that Republicans bad, America bad, versus a sensible but not necessarily MAGA individual. Who makes more sense? Who feels like a leftist?
That's what you get.
Broke the hand of a Marine.
These people are absolutely and completely addicted to optics.
Yeah.
All they care about is how they're seen.
No, he cares about his life, and he cares about the lives of his fellow troops. He cares about the fellow Americans that are going to go to war under a false pretense.
You know all this of this person in particular? He doesn't give a shit.
He cares about truth. This is what being American is all about, Osmond Gold. It's not siding with the tyrannical government, getting people to die.
Tyrannical.
He's America First, but
it's the
tyrannical
people
government.
Standing up against tyranny.
Shouldn't have put yourself in that situation.
Agreed.
Dude, you're trying to.
I missed it.
He's trying to put him in a situation where he's dying in Tehran.
No.
He's not active duty. The other guy's been named in a few years.
Yeah, the guy's not active duty.
Is not leading and defying orders? Exactly. Yep.
Dude, Osmond Gold, do you know how this country started? They were defying orders by dumping the tea in the ocean. They flipped over the boats.
No, that's
come on, the smugness here is insane.
Why don't we listen to it?
Yeah, I agree. The smugness here is insane. Right here. Right here.
Senator helped drag this piece of shit out? Oh, God.
Dude, calling a veteran a piece of shit, bro. It's like...
Veterans can be pieces of shit. I've been a piece of shit before. I'm working on things. Being a veteran doesn't keep you from being a piece of shit. Okay? Now, if you're saying he's a piece of shit because he's a veteran, that's fucked up. I guess. But veterans are people. people can be pieces of shit. Veterans can be pieces of shit. Okay, as someone who served, as someone who knows a lot of people who are and have been in, dude, get over yourselves if you don't think this. This is as Delulu land as people putting signs in their own yard. If someone else puts a sign that says you're a hero in your yard, sure, whatever, it's cute, especially if it's kids. Not if it's someone who works with you. But those people who said that there's a nurse who lives here, she's a hero. If you put that in your own yard, as someone I'm familiar with did back during COVID, you're not a hero. Heroes don't say that they're heroes. You're retarded.
Like, you put your life on the line for this country, or so you think, and look at the way you get treated.
He would call me a piece of
He's not treated that way because he's a veteran. He's being treated that way because he's throwing a fit and got his hands stuck between two very heavy doors. Those doors are very heavy.
Damn, bro, you broke your arm all for nothing, and now you're gonna catch a charge.
Yep.
That's sad.
Bro, you want him to get him to die for nothing. He's
Again, not gonna die.
No one, he's not going to die. No one wants him to die.
Yeah. Now keep in mind, this is so.
Yeah, Asmongold will definitely apologize for this statement. Just wait for that.
Like that, define America first, and certainly don't let the conservative
Hashtag Sneeko's Weeko.
Conservatives, Republicans, right wingers, nationalists, Christian nationalists, traditionalists, populists, whatever you want. Don't let that be fractured by someone who supports an evil theology, ideology, Islam, someone who says that our president and this administration is that of tyranny, someone who has no understanding of the Boston Tea Harbor or, by the way, physics. You don't just tip an actual ship like into we dumped tea into the a ship can sink. You don't just like tip it over.
See, Yankees fan, he's a moron.
Yeah, and someone who has no understanding of what it means to actually serve your country. One guy's a Navy SEAL, one guy's an insane person who wants Palestine, Hamas, to have from the river to the sea. And by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene, people out there, I mean, we could run down, who do you want to run down? Dave Smith, who said America is the biggest terrorist organization in the world. By the way,
that makes me a terrorist.
Yeah.
By the way.
I've had him on the show. We've had friendly discussions. I have no ill will toward Dave Smith as a person. That's an asinine statement.
Yes, it is.
Run down the list. They're the ones who should define to you what America, and I'm not saying that it should be Mark Levin or Ben Shapiro at all. I don't think any American should die in a war exclusively for Israel. Let's all agree on that. And then we've had the discussion, okay, but is a neutered Iran, is a less potent Iran, is that only in the interest of Israel? That's the only discussion, argument that we are having. I put myself on the hook, said give it 3 months, let's check back, rather than shouting impeachment. That's our position.
Agreed.
That's my position. The other position is America is the world's biggest terrorist organization. Donald Trump is a tyrant, and Islam ain't so bad. You don't understand America first.
Or anything, really.
Just piss. Can you fuck off enough? Oh, you're still here?
100%. Look, I'm not going to go too deep because I got to get, but basically just get over yourself. If you feel so self-important that you're willing to do something like this, just know that stuff like this does nothing. This man broke his arm for nothing. This man interrupted this hearing. It is weird that they were all staring at the front, but this man does not care. He doesn't care. This is all for show. This is all self-aggrandizement in the form of helping other people. But nothing that he does will ever help anyone, because he's doing it as someone who's clout chasing. He may actually care, sure, but the way he's doing it, the way he's carrying himself, will get more scorn than anything. All he's going to do is get not even claps, because these people don't clap, they snap. He's going to get snaps from all the people who agree with him, and he's going to get clap back from all the people that don't. He's not winning hearts and minds. He's throwing a fucking fit in a Walmart over candy. That's literally all this is. But anyway, that's all I got on today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure you go follow me over on Rumble so I can start streaming over there. I still don't have it. I'm just basically going to start making 2 more people subscribe in my own personal life so I can start streaming over there. But I appreciate every single one of you who's popped in here, even for a second. I appreciate Shapeshifter for keeping the comment section alive. And, yeah, I got to get out there and get it. Y'all be safe. The weekend's coming up. There will be a stream of Resident Evil. If not tonight, definitely tomorrow. And I'm going to see if I can get some stuff together for a weekend show. If you want to come to the gaming session, we'll see you there. If not, then we'll see you for sure